Greetings, everyone. If we haven't had a chance to meet yet, my name is Curtis Kane. On behalf of the staff, the leadership of the Salem United Methodist Church here in Havana, Florida, I wanted to greet you and to shoot a little video to share some really exciting news with you. If you tuned into this last Sunday's worship service or you are on our email list, then you've already heard this exciting news that based on the recommendations of our Florida United Methodist Conference and in guidelines with the CDC, we are looking at relaunching in-person worship here at Salem on the 21st of this month, which is Father's Day, June 21st. We will be relaunching both services, our 8:45 service, coffee house service, and our traditional service at 11 a.m. And so I just wanted to shoot this little video here, first of all, to make sure that everybody's heard this great and exciting news, to potentially answer some questions you may have, and just in general to have the opportunity to explain this a little bit farther for everybody as we prepare to move into this new space of excitement, but also wanting to keep everyone safe. On that same note, we recognize that not everybody is in agreement on the level of precaution or protection that we need to partake of when we are gathered socially. So we at Salem have developed some protocols, some guidelines, and I want to share some of those with you here to equip you and educate you, but also, regardless of where you're at on this perspective of how far or not far to take these guidelines, we just ask if you would, so that everyone could feel as safe and as comfortable as possible, that when you are here on the Salem UMC campus, to please help us out by adhering to these guidelines. First of all, some general guidelines for just building usage in all worship services. First and foremost, please do not ever feel pressured to attend. If you are at all uncomfortable, if you're not feeling well, even if you think it's just a small cold or allergies or the flu, if you are in a high risk category of infection and you just don't feel comfortable coming, there is no shame in foregoing in-person attendance at this moment. I want to set you free of that. And that same way, we're going to continue all of our online ministries. Because of this great new licensing we've been able to purchase, we will continue to stream the entire worship service, not just the sermon anymore. We'll continue to email out information such as our bulletin information, prayer requests, announcements, those kinds of things. For those of you that do feel comfortable with and would like to attend any of our events here at Salem, we want to remind you that we will have hand sanitizer throughout the entire church, and we ask you to please use it often. Please don't forget, washing your hands is always better. Washing your hands for 20 seconds. We're asking that everyone honor a 6-foot distance when we are together in worship. I recognize that that's going to be difficult to do, especially before service and after service, especially as we've been so used to seeing each other and we miss spending time with each other. But especially during this time, we ask that congregants make their way to their seat quickly so that others can make it through the aisles. That perhaps if there's fellowship to be done, that you do so outside the building afterwards, where you can do so at a safe 6-foot distance. And while you're here in worship, we invite families who live together to sit next to each other as normal. Couples, those who live in the same household. We figured you drove here in the same car anyways, you live together. But we do ask that everybody sit 6 feet apart beyond that spacing. And that's just to make sure that we can keep you as safe as possible during this time. We do ask that for those who are able to, please wear masks while you're here. We are looking at different options of how we conduct our service so that we can be more mindful of our time, to make sure that everyone can stay as comfortable as possible while doing something a little uncomfortable, wearing our masks. Also, based on some new research, we are inviting everyone to sing softly to themselves. Apparently, it's been discovered that when we project our voices, it has the opportunity to launch droplets farther, and there's the potential they could stay in the air longer. And so we will still have music. We will still have music led by our worship leaders. In our coffee house service, there will be a shield up front. In our traditional service, we have the larger space, so there will be a larger gap between Evan, our music director, our choir director, and the congregation. But please feel free to sing softly to yourselves, to hum, or to just sit in the presence of worshipful music and listen. For the next little while, we will not be handing out Holy Communion. I will stand at the chancel area, and through our normal litany that we use, I will present to you the bread. And we will invite you to partake of it spiritually within your own heart. You're welcome to reach out a hand towards it. It's not about the objects, it's about the God that is working through that object. And the same thing with the cup. We won't be inviting people to come forward. We'll be inviting people to partake within their own heart as it's presented to you. As far as our coffee house service goes, our 8:45 coffee house service, we ask that everybody please enter only through 2 entrances and to only use 1 set of bathrooms. This will help us to understand what areas need to be re-sanitized after service and to allow that to happen more quickly. For the coffee house service, we invite people to enter through the fellowship hall double doors and the side entrance on the concrete parking lot where the little lighthouse is. We ask that everyone please only use the large bathrooms in the main Sunday school hallway and the bottom floor. And that will allow us, once again, as I said, to make sure to honor the sanitation between services. We will not be having tables in first service as to make more room for people so we can socially distance. There'll be tape on the floor in straight lines already spaced apart. You will come in and get a chair for yourself and a second one if you wish to set in front of you, facing yourself, to set your coffee and your donuts on. During this time, we ask that even though we appreciate it when others bring in snacks and food to share, that just for safety's sake, that you do not do so at the moment. Coffee and donuts will be provided. An individual or a couple will be behind the counter in the kitchen area, where they will pre-plate your coffee and pre-plate your donuts and pre-pour your coffee. Yeah, you don't want your coffee on the plate. So that only you touch yours. There will be tape on the floor of lining up. Again, we ask that you please honor social distancing when coming up to get your snacks. We will, in our coffee house service, we'll have the offering plate where it usually is. People would typically line up for Holy Communion and drop in your offering. So that will remain in its space, but please also be aware that we will not be coming up for Holy Communion. So for those led towards that spiritual discipline, just have that in your minds. Also, following that service, we will need some volunteers to help us re-sanitize. We have supplies we've been kindly blessed with to make that happen. For our traditional 11 o'clock service, again, we ask you only enter through a few entrances, okay, for the exact same reasons. We ask that you only enter through the sanctuary double doors and that same side entrance on the concrete parking lot where the lighthouse is. We ask for the same seating arrangement in the pews. We'll be using every other pew. Families that live together, couples, people that live together are welcome to sit next to each other, but beyond that, please make sure there is a 6-foot spacing area. Offering plates will be available before and after service at the entrances. We will not be passing the plate as normal for the same reasons. We want to keep you safe. So they will be available where the ushers stand at those 2 entrances that we typically go into to the sanctuary. And there will be offering plates available before and after service. And our trustees have been kind enough to volunteer to do the sanitation for that service. As for our Sunday school classes and other groups, they will continue on at the time that they're currently going on, which is throughout the week at different times here on the campus. We will not be going back to our normal times as of yet for the Sunday school because we don't have the space for all of our Sunday school classes to meet at the same time and still honor social distancing. Our children's ministry will continue to be postponed because it would be difficult to get children to social distance at any point. But please be aware that we are looking at some very creative things. If you're not aware, we are really blessed to partner with Killearn United Methodist Church in Tallahassee, and we're offering a virtual VBS this year, Vacation Bible School. Information for that is on our website and on our Facebook. You're also welcome to call the church office for more information on that. Our youth group is continuing to meet on Sunday evenings at 5 o'clock. They've been meeting for several weeks now, and it's just been going great. I'm really excited about our young people and just that ministry that God is putting together. Our nursery ministry, our nursery staff, Rachel, has just been doing a phenomenal job of going through cleaning every toy, every inch of that entire room, getting it prepared. We are studying CDC guidelines as the CDC has allowed daycares to reopen, and we are looking at how we may safely care for your young people if you were to come and you would like your young person to join in the nursery. And so that will be available with some much more advanced policies on keeping everybody safe. But as always, parents, please know that your children are always welcome to stay in any worship service, no matter what's going on in our world around us. The nursery is just there as an option for you, just like our children's time is. But we just want you to know everything that we're doing to try to keep you, your family, and your loved ones safe. All that to be said, if you'd like more information about how we're reopening, some of the guidelines of the CDC, some of the guidelines that the Florida Conference of the United Methodist Church is putting out, please email us or call us. We have documents that we've been blessed to get a hold of. We'll be happy to pass those along. The same documents that were included in the email announcement about this, by the way. Until a couple weeks from now, when I hope to see many of you, just know that we love you. We're praying for you. We're excited to see each other again, even though it's going to be different for a little while. But that's okay. We're going to make family work.